Hi everyone, Maggie here again. Latest in the series of thoughts from a changing mind. Um, I'm so glad that when I started these, that I used the title of Thoughts from a Changing Mind. I did that at the time because I knew a lot of things about me were going to change, and I just wanted to make sure that however much I changed and my thoughts changed, that it would still be a reassurance to people in a similar position that it's all normal, that it's not, you're not alone. Anything you're thinking is quite sensible. You're not alone in having those thoughts, and it will all work out eventually. Um, and it's interesting that when there are days when I will go past the mirror and I'll look at myself and I'll think, oh dear, that's not very good. Oh, I've got a lot of work to do. And there are other days where I'll walk past it and I'll say, hmm, that's good. I like that. And frankly, the difference between the two occasions are minuscule, minimal at best. And yet, what makes the different interpretation is what's between your ears. It's how you're feeling from one day to the next. And it's similar when, I don't know if you're like me, but I keep in touch online with different groups for transgender people and so on. And you hear their stories and their worries and their triumphs and everything else and how they're looking and what they're doing. And sometimes you look at those people on there and you think, oh my word, they are so wonderful. They've made so much more progress. I'll never get anywhere close to that. And it can be a little depressing. And at other times, you can look at people who have maybe all of those attributes going from their youth, their looks, and everything else, and yet you hear their stories and they are struggling so much and they are having a really tough time of it. And the reason I'm pulling all these different threads together is that really there is no one way of doing things. There is no consistent way of approaching things. And what you think about yourself and others and the environment around you is going to be continually changing. And even if the actual environment and the people that are around you aren't changing, the way that you perceive them, the way that you react to them can change. And that is perfectly valid, is perfectly normal. Rather than trying to second guess it, just accept it as just a normal part of life that whatever position you're in, whether you're transgender or cisgender or whatever, life has its challenges, life has its ups and downs. But when we are involved in a transition, it's very, very easy to apply anything that's going wrong or is a pressure or a threat to the fact that we are transitioning. And we think it's a product of that transition, when in fact, on most occasions, it's got nothing to do with that at all. It's actually all to do with just the normal tapestry and variations in life. So I wanted to bring this to you because, like I said, sometimes we worry about this way too much. And it's important, obviously, at times when we do analyze things and think about it and say, how can I improve things? And some of these are very valid and some of these we can work on. But a lot of times it's us putting unnecessary pressure on ourselves when we can actually deal with the things that are truly down to just us transitioning and be more effective with dealing with those by getting rid of the noise of everything else. It's important that, and I know I've said this before, but we hold on to that joy, that elation that comes with realizing who we are and want to be and finally embracing it. I've read so many times and heard so many times where people have had that initial courage and breakthrough, and then they struggle internally with keeping that joy and elation going as they're proceeding through their transition. And it's important for us to remember at various intervals that we are, where we want to be, because we had the courage to do it. And you've only got to look back to where you were before you made that commitment to realize that despite all the other worries, that we are so much better off now. We're in a far better place. We think of ourselves as far more beautiful than we did before. And even if for us that beauty isn't enough and we feel that we could do more and be better, and are we presentable enough, and all this noise, as I said, that goes on in our head, we need to dispel that and just go back to the basics of just saying, I'm finally me. I'm finally who I want to be. And that fills me with such happiness and joy. And everything else is just detail. We need to get back, as I say, to the basics. And that's why, again, Thoughts from a Changing Mind is so pertinent, because I've had so many changes in my thoughts over these months and years that I've been doing these videos. Things have changed for me physically, whether it's for my body or my geographical location, my relationships. All of these things have changed. How I approach the world, how I see the world, what I'm going to do, what could happen. There's so many different changes that have happened. And yet, through it all, the one common thread is that I'm finally living the life that I want to live. I'm finally the person that I want to be. And the crazy thing for me is that before it happened, before it changed, I didn't even know that's what I wanted. I know some people, they live their whole life knowing exactly who they want to be, and they just can't do it until way later in their life. For me, I was just going through life, struggling, making mistakes, hurting people and myself as well, not knowing why that was. And then all of a sudden, it all made sense. And ever since it happened, I've just been so happy to be me, to have it all make sense. And there are times when I forget that and I get down with I'm not, doing enough to make myself look better than I can, I am at the moment. But then I got to, like I say, remind myself, I'm exactly where I want to be and who I want to be. And however fast or whatever path my transition takes, I'm still me, and I'm happy for that. And I hope that maybe this gives you some reassurance too, that with everything else that's going on in your life, just remember what joy it gives you to be who you are, and let that carry you through the days and weeks ahead. Anyway, that's enough from me now. Thank you for listening to me and for watching the video. And if you like this, then please, like, subscribe, follow, whatever it is. If you want to drop some comments, that would be great too. If you want to share this with other people, please do. I'm here, as I say, just to help other people in the same situation and help them realize that they're not alone. So if I've done that for you, then I'm happy. So until the next time, thanks again for listening, and big hugs from me. Bye for now.